Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 399, Father James Martin. And so, Father James Martin, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a priest. He's kind of charismatic and he does a lot of speaking in America. And he was one of the guys that Father James Altman actually questioned, like, why do we allow this guy to speak in the Roman Catholic Church? Because he spews, heresy for the most part. He's very much about alternative lifestyles and being who you are. Well, I saw a video today. Well, anyway, and so he questioned Father James Martin in his video, and then Father James Martin's minions, the cafeteria Catholics that want to do whatever they want, have been attacking people, or the people that support Father Altman. And I hear there's going to be a protest outside of Father Altman's church in La Crosse, Wisconsin, by people that support James Martin. Well, anyway, so I heard today a video of Father James Martin giving a graduation speech at Gonzaga. And I don't know if it was this year or not, but, last year or not. But Father James Martin said, you are who you are. God made you beautiful. Yeah, that's true, right? God did make you beautiful, the likeness and image of God. And you have to be true to yourself, whether you're black, brown, white, tall or short, gay, straight, transsexual, or whatever it is. And he went through it and he says, you got to be true to yourself and you got to do what you need to do. And this is heresy. Like, really, if you're supposed to do whatever you want to do, then there's no reason for the Roman Catholic Church. Like, so here's the deal. First off, he grouped black, brown, tall, short, white, like all these things you have no control over in your lives, like your physical attributes that you're born with. He grouped those with things like, say, homosexuality, transgenderism, and other LGBT, whatever he did. He's trying to equate behavior with natural, your natural creation, and that is a little bit of a problem. Here's the other problem that he doesn't address, and really is the massive problem of his teachings. We're all called to heroic virtue and chastity, every single one of us. And whether we're going to be priests, nuns, married people, and so on and so forth. And you can't be a chaste person and be in any one of those alternative lifestyles, homosexual, lesbianic, or transgender, or whatever else. That's not a heroic virtue, and it's not chaste. It's just not. And here's the other thing: is he says, and then he said, be who you are, be true to yourself, because God doesn't make crap, right? And so at Gonzaga, right, and I'm going to link this video for you. You can even watch it. At Gonzaga, like a Jesuit school, right, which is partially communistic and whatever else. I don't know. But the crowd cheers, woo! And I don't know if people are just being like polite to him, but if you give a graduation speech like that at a Catholic school, it should be boo. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It goes against the teachings of our Catholic faith. Well, anyway, so the other thing I wanted to say about Father James Martin is he's ignoring the fallen nature of man. He thinks that all our inclinations and all our temptations are okay because that's the way God made us, and that's not true. See, we have fallen natures, and therefore we have temptations. The serpent comes into the garden and he tempts Eve. Like, if her inclination is to eat from the tree of knowledge, what's wrong with that? Well, it's because God told you not to do it. That's why, because there's God's law and then there's man's law, right? And so you have to follow God's law, and you don't follow your temptations if they contradict with God's law. You just don't do it. In fact, by the way, the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father, lead us not into temptation and deliver us from evil. Like, you're not supposed to follow your temptations if they're contradictory to God's law. And Father James Martin apparently believes, as he says, if you're brown, you're black, you're white, tall, short, right? All these attributes that are okay, not intrinsic evils. Gay, straight, transgender, like, be yourself, because God doesn't make crap, is what he says. No, God doesn't make crap. That's for sure. But God does give us free will, and we are fallen people. Like, that's the whole point of the Roman Catholic Church, is that we're fallen people. We were fallen because the serpent in the garden, right? We're born with original sin, and that we have temptations that are not necessarily in line with God's law. Like, there are masochists out there. There are serial killers. They have temptation. Were they born that way? Like, should they just follow their temptation to be serial killers? No, because that's wrong, right? And then whatever sexual inclination you have, transgenderism or whatever else, everyone's called to chastity. And so After I heard that video today, like there's this whole brouhaha, Father Altman versus Father Martin. Well, after I heard that video today, that God doesn't make crap, is what he says, and you should do whatever you want to do, who you're called to be. That's wrong. That's heresy. Like, you are actually supposed to follow the Lord's commandments, even if your temptation puts you aside, puts you in a different direction. And if you do follow your temptation and it's contradictory to God's laws or to God's commandment, you're supposed to get the confession. You're supposed to confess it and then swear you're going to change your life and amend your life and not do it again and sin no more, or avoid near occasion of sin. That's what we do. That's confession. That's penance. The church was set up to do that. And so I'm going to link it below. I think you guys should watch the video. But this guy is he's a rogue priest, and nobody criticizes him. Father Altman comes out and criticizes him, and then he gets silenced by the bishop. So it's really weird. I don't understand how Father Martin, James Martin, can actually give a commencement speech at a Catholic university saying that and not be silenced by the bishop. Because that's heresy. Father Altman didn't say anything that was heretical at all. He was just divisive, or he had a bad tone, or whatever it was. Seriously, who's going to lead souls to perdition? Who's going to lead souls to hell? Is it the person saying, listen, you got to follow the teachings of the church? Or is the person saying, God made you great, he doesn't make crap, and do whatever you want? Who's going to go to hell? Well, anyway, so just something to think about. This is Catholic Dad. Just making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass and pray the daily rosary, and think about your own internal heart here, by the way, because we all have temptation. And the 7 deadly sins, think about them. What are yours? Laziness, sloth, wrath, lust, pride, greed, envy, you name it. Think about what your temptations are. Those are your temptations. Those are the things you need to resist, right? So you can build virtue and become a more holy person. Apparently, Father Martin doesn't think that's the case. He thinks you should do whatever you want, steal, or be envious, or be unchaste, or whatever else, celebrate your sin. Don't think so, people. That's a really bad piece of advice. And those people that cheered at that Gonzaga, I'll tell you what, man, I wish I was the next speaker. I'd tell them a thing or two. Well, anyway, so like or subscribe, get the Mass, pray the daily rosary. God bless you all.